Let's go DFS. What's up? This is Christian, aka Pinchy Flacco, aka Denver Score Mega, and I'm going to break down Week 6 for the second time in just a moment. Stay tuned. Starting out, we're going to talk about the Bucks at the Steelers. Steelers are now about a 10-point home dog, with the over/under at a steady. That is up to 46. That has been steamed up to 46 from 43. They expect points to be scored in this game, so fire up Tom Brady, Evans, Godwin. Leonard Fournette's probably in a good spot to score. So, the Bucks are fine. We know who they are. If you want to take chances on Scotty Miller or Rashad Perriman or Michael Gage even, or whatever his name is, so be it. But, play your core players for the Steelers, or the Bucks this week. I think they're in a pretty good spot, and they should do fine. The way I'm reading this right now is that I'm thinking that the Bucks get out early and the Steelers find a way to kind of score points along the way. So, and this is going to maybe drag over 46. 43 to 46 is a huge jump for no particular reason. There might be more points in this game than people anticipate. So, yeah, let's feel a little bit better about Pittsburgh's offense this week, and we're going to take the 10, and we're going to go over 46. And by the way, with Freiermuth out, don't forget about Gentry, 2,600 at tight end for the Pittsburgh Steelers to help give you hopefully a contrarian punt play that could really help actually get there. So, Zach Gentry, 2,600, my favorite Steeler for this week. All right, time to talk about Cincinnati going down to New Orleans. This is easy. New Orleans is beat the fuck up. They don't even have Rashard Lattimore this week. This is a Burrow to Chase week. Just get all over it. That is the stack. It's going to be hopefully expensive enough to keep ownership down. So if you want to get different, Joe Mixon, I don't think anybody's really going to go there. He's just in a fine spot, to be honest with you. So Joe Mixon's okay. And I don't think anybody's going to get there. On the other side of the ball, the Saints, they've got problems, but they do have Alvin Kamara back, and he looked pretty effective. They're going to try to get creative. I don't know how well it's going to work. This Saints team's not looking too healthy. So I'm liking the Bengals just to blow these guys out. Take the -3. That's already been pushed up. That spread's already doubled up, and the over/under is coming down a little bit. I'm actually liking the Bengals to smash the fucking 3 and take the under 43. Okay, let's talk about Jags at Indianapolis. This is probably one of the ugliest games on the fucking books. It should be a nice game, but it's not going to be. This is going to be some ugly slop. So this is the way I'm looking at it. With Jonathan Taylor being officially ruled out, thank you for letting us know ahead of time, by the way. So we have this guy at 5,200. I don't even know what his name is exactly. He played against the Broncos last week on Thursday night, and he showed out pretty well. So he is fine at 5,200. You have no other Colts running backs you can roster on DK this week. They might bring up Philip Lindsay again from the practice squad or something like that, but the fact of the matter is he's the only running back listed for the Colts on DK. He's 5,200, and they're still a home favorite, a really low over-under. I think points are going to be at a premium. There's going to be some shakeout plays, of course, but I think this game actually comes down to special teams. So if you want to kind of dance in the middle this week, both defenses are actually kind of live. So keep that in mind if you just find yourself in that spot. Alex Pierce, still interested in him at 4,300 for the Colts. He might have to step up and get an extra target or two. Like I said, if we can get any receiver at 4,300 who's going to get like 6 to 8 targets, you just kind of have to go with that, especially if they're clean targets and just not stat padding targets. So you know what I'm talking about. As far as the rest of the game goes, this is going to be an ugly game, and I'm going to take the Colts -1.5, under 42 in a real stinker. Coming up next, Patriots at Browns. Browns are 2.5 points, 42 over/under. That's gone up a little bit. That's up a point and a half. I like lots of spots for Cleveland this week. We're gonna lay the 2.5. We're gonna go under 43.5. I think this is going to be the fastest game of the week. I think this will have the least amount of offensive plays in it. That doesn't mean there won't be touchdowns or big plays or anything like that. It just means that this game's going to speed along just fine. So in this scenario, New England we're still not unsure of who's even playing for New England this week. We do know that Nelson Aguilar is out this week, so that maybe gives up a bump to Parker or even Kendrick Bourne, who's now 3,100. So if you need to get low and you like that game situation, by all means. But as far as the rest of the game goes, I think Cleveland just kind of wears out New England. I don't think New England's up for this one. Give me Cleveland 2.5, and let's go under 43 in a really fast game. Moving on, Jets traveling to New England this week. They are going to get 7.5 points against the Packers, and that's at a pretty tasty little 45 and a half over under. The spread hasn't moved at all. Everybody expects Green Bay to win this week, and that's fine. They probably will, but we are taking the Jets for 7.5 as long as these guys keep winning with beating the spread. They've already got 3 wins this year. The Jets have lots of weapons. It makes them very difficult to pick out week to week for DFS purposes. So, that they are very tricky as far as that goes. But if you get the Jets right on a week that they're good, you're going to have a huge edge on the field because nobody knows how to play the Jets. Everybody's chasing player week after week, and it seems to go the other way. And that's what I like about the Jets. So keep going, Jets. Do your best. I hope you win. We are taking the 7.5. And I don't really know how I feel about the over/under on this. So it's gonna be a cooler day in Green Bay, 46 degrees, a little windy. I don't think the passing game's gonna be particularly sharp on both ends. I still really like Aaron Jones at 7,600 on DK this week. He did make the first 5 video as just a large home favorite at running back, and that's just kind of what we look for in life. So he gets way more snap share than people realize that he's getting. Everybody thinks that AJ Dillon cuts into his work too much, but we're looking high 60s, low 70s as far as snap share goes for Aaron Jones. So hopefully he gets his shots in a breezy little game in Lambeau and does well. But Jets plus 7.5, and let's go. Let's go over because that's what I want to see. Anyway, but I don't know how I feel about that otherwise. Jets. All right, let's talk about the other New York team going on. We got Baltimore at New York Giants, and this game's kind of weird. It started out at 45. Started out at 4.5 for Baltimore on the road, and now that is fucking juiced up to 6, 5.5, something like that, about 6. So I like the Giants getting 6 in this game. I love the Giants when everybody hates them, and the betting public hates them this week apparently because they are steaming up Baltimore in a big way. 46 opened up at 44.5 over under. That is now juiced up to 46. So I like points in this game as well. Neither one of these teams have much defense to speak of, believe it or not. So we all know about the Giants wide receiving core issues with injuries, but they are really fucked up at cornerback this week as well. So they really don't have any defensive backs to cover Devin Duvernay this is going to be a weird game. I really like it. I'm kind of interested. I hope I get it on TV and whatnot. And hopefully it's on Red Zone a lot and stuff like that. But just long story short is that I like the value receivers for the Giants. I think Danny Derps is going to win somebody $1 million tomorrow. And I think the Giants, cover with the 6. And let's go over because why the hell not? Barkley will be popular. I'm not going to go there. Lamar's pretty interesting, but he doesn't have a lot to work with this week. He's got a couple guys, and if the Giants can fucking tighten their shit up, I don't know. It seems like an offensive game, though, so we'll go over, hope for the best, and Giants plus 6. Long story short. All right, so we got Minnesota at Miami, opened up at minus 3.5. It's kind of ticked down to minus 3. Over-unders ticked down a little bit. I think this game stinks. I think this game's a mess. I think Minnesota wins the game. Cover 3, sure, why not? I think Minnesota wins this game and going into their bye week. Miami's just a little too fucked up right now, and Doesn't mean that they can't get there, but we're just going to take Minnesota and the under. KJ Osborne contrarian pick for the Vikings at 4,300. He might have a play. He could spike and pay off the 43. Beyond that, I don't like this game much at all. So moving on. The game that's got my most interest on the early slate at the moment is actually San Francisco at Atlanta. This spread has moved all over the place. Started out at 49ers 6.5. It's down to 49ers minus 4.5. And the over-under has moved from 42.5 to about 45. 44. It's kind of all over the place as far as that, but it has ticked up in a very significant way. So this tells me a lot. I took a little deeper look at it, and the Niners are fucked up this week too. They have injury problems, and it could get worse going into game time, the 90 minutes before kickoff. So the Niners might be really fucked up, and the spread's moving in a weird direction. I'd like to know where the volume betting's going, because if it's going on San Francisco and the spread is moving in this direction, that means the Falcons are probably going to win. And I don't know how, and it's got me thinking, and I'm going to have to do something about that. And I'm going to have to look at the Falcons in a different way than I've been looking at them all weekend. Probably nobody wants to play the fucking Falcons, any of their players. Nobody wants to. It's a bad situation, but all these numbers are metricing. Like I said, if I can find out the betting volume for the game, for who they think is going to win, and the spread moved this way, this is bad. So Atlanta is now in a good spot. I am going to take them with the 4.5, and the fact that this over/under keeps on trickling up, it seems like a lot. So fuck it, let's just go over with it, I guess. But I'm at this moment, I am like holding my nose and going, I know that the Falcons are good for me this week. And there's your early slate for this week. This what I primarily focus on is the early slate. I don't like fucking sweating out questionables and game time decisions and afternoon games and having that determining my entire DFS week. So I like to do it nice and tidy. Obviously I play all week, but what I'm actually concerned about are those games that start at 11 for me here in this time zone. So, and that's where I usually come from, and that's what we're focusing on. And I just went over it in a pretty good way. So, take some of this and run with it. Like I said, like, subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down. Tell me when I'm wrong, thank me when I'm right, and make some money off all this. And let's go. Pinchy Flacco out.